He found her alone.
He almost walked past. Then she arrived and changed everything.
Freight coordinator Davan Reyes had a rule about not getting involved. It was a practical rule, developed over 9 years of working transit stations where involved meant complications and complications meant delays. And delays in freight coordination cost real money for real clients who had real opinions about it. He had maintained this rule with consistent success across 7 stations and approximately 400 transit cycles, and it had served him well. He broke it at the entrance to Corridor 7 on a Thursday morning, because the child was sitting on the floor holding what appeared to be a broken toy and crying with the specific quiet of a child who had been crying alone for long enough to have exhausted the louder version. She was small. Pale skin, silver-white braids, the distinctive pointed ears of the Aethori species, which the station's cultural registry had classified as a low-traffic species with infrequent transit presence, which explained why the automated lost child system had not generated a match. She was approximately 6 years old, and she was holding the 2 halves of what had been a small carved figure, and she was not making a scene because she was too young to know she was allowed to. He crouched beside her. "Hey," he said. Not with a plan, just acknowledgement. She looked at him. The Aethori eyes were large and golden and currently very wet, and they looked at him with a specific expression of a child assessing whether this was a safe person. "Are you lost?" he said. She nodded. "Do you know your mother's name?" he said. "Lyra," she said. Very small voice. "Okay," he said. "I'm going to help you find Lyra. Is that all right?" She looked at the broken toy in her hands. Then at him. "Can you fix it?" she said. He looked at the 2 pieces of the carved figure. "I can try," he said. He could not fix it. It was carved from a material he didn't recognize and had broken in a way that required the kind of repair he didn't have tools for. But he found a temporary adhesive in his coordination kit that held the pieces together well enough to not look broken from a distance. And when he gave it back, she held it carefully with the specific care of someone who understood it wasn't fully repaired but was grateful for the effort. "Okay," he said. "Let's go find Lyra." Finding Lyra took 3 hours. The station's lost child registry required species-matching documentation that the Aethori's low-traffic status complicated, and the transit manifest for the day's arrivals had 3 separate registration formats, none of which matched cleanly, and the Aethori communication frequency was on a non-standard band that required physical equipment adjustment in the station's communication hub. He navigated all of this with the child beside him, who told him her name was Sael and that her mother had been right there and then wasn't, and who ate the nutrition pack he found in his coordination kit with the focused efficiency of a child who had been away from her mother for longer than she wanted to admit. He found Lyra on the manifest on hour 2. He found her physical location, the station's secondary medical observation area, where she had been taken after what the manifest described as a stress response medical event, which he understood to mean she had been looking for her daughter for 2 hours and had not been handling it well, on hour 3. He brought Sael to the medical observation room. What happened when Lyra saw her daughter was the specific thing that happened when a parent who has been afraid for their child is suddenly not afraid anymore. And he stayed at the doorway while it happened and did not look away because it was the kind of thing worth looking at. When it was over and Sael was sitting on the observation bed being checked by the medical attendant, Lyra looked at him. He registered with the specific delay of someone who had been focused on logistics for 3 hours. Extraordinary. Olive green skin, golden eyes that were currently wet in the way of someone who had just stopped being afraid, silver white hair in thick braids, the warm, unhurried grace of a species he knew almost nothing about. She crossed to him. She stopped in front of him. She looked at him with those golden eyes. "You found her," she said. "She found me," he said. "I just knew the paperwork." "You stayed with her for 3 hours," she said. "You fixed her toy." "I temporarily adhesived her toy," he said. "The permanent fix would require." She told me, Lyra said, that the man who helped her tried to fix her toy even though he couldn't. She looked at him steadily. She said you told her you couldn't fix it but you tried anyway. And that was honest and that was also kind. He looked at the corridor. She's perceptive. All Aethori children are, she said. We consider it important to teach them to notice the difference between honest and kind, and between honest and kind together. He paused. You did both. He looked at her. At Sael on the observation bed, examining the temporarily adhered figure with careful attention. At the 3 hours of paperwork and non-standard frequencies and nutrition packs that had led to this room. I almost didn't stop, he said. I have a rule about not getting involved. What changed, she said. He thought about it honestly. She wasn't making a scene, he said. She was just sitting there being sad quietly. That seemed worse than the alternative. Lyra looked at him for a long moment. My name is Lyra Vale, she said. I am the Aethori Station's incoming cultural liaison for the 9th sector. I will be working from this station for the next 18 months. She looked at him steadily. I would like to buy you a meal, Davan Reyes. And I would like Sael to see what it looks like when adults say thank you properly. He looked at Sael, who was looking at both of them with those large golden eyes and the specific expression of a child who has understood something important and is watching to see if the adults understand it too. All right, he said. But I want it on the record that I broke my rule for a good reason. I will note it, Lyra said. And she did. Some rules exist for good reasons. Some children sit quietly in corridors. And sometimes the most significant thing you do in a transit station is stop. Then,